All right, everyone, I've got a little bit of a theory here. I don't think that Trump seriously is considering buying Greenland. He did talk about this back after the 2016 election in his first term, the idea of buying Greenland. Now, technically, if you paid off the Danish, you could buy Greenland. It's a Danish territory. It's administered directly by them. In theory, you could make that transfer. If a petition for annexation was made by the democratic population of Greenland, I would support, for example, annexing them, and I would think that would be a good idea. Greenland would profit from an enormous boost in tourism, military protection, the extraction of natural resources, and then, of course, the natural resources benefit the entire United States, of which Greenland would then be part of. It's actually, on paper, it's a very, very good idea. It's just not very likely to happen. But I think I know what Trump is doing. He's meeting, I think, with the Prime Minister of Greenland. They are semi-autonomous. Technically speaking, it's part of Denmark, but it's also technically its own country. It's a little bit of a wonky, like, imperialistic situation, which is funny because people are acting like Donald Trump is being imperialistic by optioning the concept of simply buying the entire island, which is strange because liberals are pretending. They're LARPing as though he's going to invade. They're also pretending he's going to invade Canada and Panama. You know, what he's doing is making the big ask. And he's started a goddamn wildfire. Not one of Joe Biden or Gavin Newsom's wildfires, but a political wildfire. Now, the Greenlandish, or Greenlandic, I don't know exactly, government is actually talking about wanting independence. Well, we don't want to be part of Denmark. Hey, you're right. Why should we be part of this tiny European nation that's several thousand miles away? We're not ethnically Danish, for the most part. Most of our population are basically Inuit. Why should we remain part of your crown? What's the fucking point? Donald Trump, inadvertently, possibly, has started an independence, a secession movement in Greenland. This is absolutely hilarious. Man hasn't even taken office yet. Thankfully, we only have 1 week left before we have competent, sane leadership back in D.C. I mean, insofar as it can be sane and competent. But he appears to have started an independence movement in Greenland, above all things, that I never thought I would see in my lifetime. This is absolutely hilarious. By the way, I support the people of Greenland in their independence bid. If they become independent, so they're no longer part of Denmark, so you don't have the Danish regulations, taxations, and stuff, you're your own nation, you could partner more closely with the United States, which is a little bit more adept at military endeavors, certainly, than the European Union. You would leave the EU, I suppose, and you could become part of the actual Western Hemisphere. This would definitely be beneficial. Like if you had like a U.S. Greenlandic free trade agreement or something. Oh, Greenland's population would bloom. Its minerals and all of the energy resources that are there, which are formidable, could actually be utilized. Because under European law, a lot of that is effectively off the table. And Greenland would grow more wealthy as a result of this. It benefits literally everyone. The United States gets more resources, which we need, from a nation which is no longer part of the EU, which has become adversarial in some economic manners and certainly diplomatically. We get more resources, and you get a shit ton of investment. It's sort of like if the United States marches into Panama. What I've said is that we should strike a deal with the Panamanians because the Clinton era deal obviously is bullshit. We built the goddamn canal and we invested our lives and our money in it, had an agreement with Panama, and it was Lyndon B. Johnson, yeah, that asshole, who actually started the process of getting rid of the canal. How wonderful. Couldn't ask for a nicer president, the Vietnam War president. It's clank day. It's coffee day. Trust me. But ultimately, we should renegotiate that too. If we can get Greenland out of the grips of the imperialistic Danes and Greenland becomes independent, it'll be easier to trade with them. It'll be easier to travel there and back. I would love to see Greenland, by the way. Iceland's more on my bucket list. Greenland's not on the bucket list, but I would like to see it someday. Made a video this morning about hating traveling, but I can make exceptions. I'll take one for the team in order to see seals and shit like that, and all the other cool life forms that exist in Greenland. Don't they have those sharks there that they ferment? I know in Iceland they do that. There's like this shark that's full of basically piss. The shark is literally overloaded with concentrated piss, and so they have to bury it in the gravel along the shore for a considerable period of time, let it ferment, then they have to smoke it and let it basically ferment for months, and then it's edible. I don't know who invented the process of doing this and why, probably out of necessity, but hakarl, or whatever its Greenlandic equivalent is, definitely something that I want to try. I tried to try it before, but it came in an unrefrigerated box, and it was starting to get moldy already, so I'm like, I don't know, I don't think that I'm going to do this. Got some other Icelandic goodies, actually, at the time. But with Greenland, I think that Trump is trying to start a secession movement. He's literally sparked an insurrection in Greenland. Here's your real insurrection, liberals. He's trying to make a sovereign nation sovereign again, as opposed to being subjugate to a monarchy, a technical monarchy. That doesn't sound like fascism to me. With Panama, it's more like just pay off their national debt and get a military base and expand the canal further and everyone's happy. With Canada, of course, a little bit different. Liberals keep LARPing. We'll talk about that separately today. They keep LARPing as though Trump is going to invade Canada. It'll be another War of 1812 moment. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Don't worry about it too much, Canadians. We're your friends. We're joking with you about tariffs when we talk about that. Trump is joking with you, effectively. He's trolling Trudeau. I mean, Trudeau's going to leave anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference at this point now, does it? That's about all. Peace out.